The gate closed with a sound that felt like judgment. Steel against steel.
Clean.
Final. They were still talking when it happened, still smug, still certain, still completely wrong. My brother had one hand raised mid-sentence, like he was explaining something obvious to someone beneath him. His wife stood just behind him in oversized sunglasses, scanning the house, already claiming it in her head. Behind me, the ocean rolled in.
Between us, silence.
I smiled. Not because I was happy, because I'd spent 9 years perfecting that smile. And I didn't say a word. That part mattered. 9 years earlier, my brother's fist landed before I even finished the sentence. What I remember most isn't the pain. It's the speed. How fast love can turn when someone gives it permission. His wife had called me trash.
Casually.
Like it was a label she'd been using for years, and everyone else had simply agreed to stop saying out loud. I laughed. That was my mistake. My brother didn't. One punch. Sharp, public, unforgettable. Then came the silence. No calls. No holidays. No explanations beyond a single sentence delivered like a death certificate. You're dead to me. And just like that, I was. What makes betrayal harder is that it doesn't erase the good memories. It leaves them intact just to make the damage hurt more. We weren't always like this. He used to protect me when we were kids. I used to cover for him when he messed up. We shared bedrooms, inside jokes, secrets, plans. The kind of bond you assume survives adulthood because you can't imagine life any other way. Then he met her, and I wanted it to work. I really did. At first, I thought she made him softer,
calmer,
more focused. I didn't realize she was sharpening him into a weapon. That's the thing about love. It hands out blind spots like gifts. The shift didn't happen overnight. First, he stopped calling back. Then birthdays became texts. Then holidays passed without invitations. Then I became the person no one mentioned. I didn't chase him. I watched. Because when people think you're gone, they stop hiding who they are. A cousin slipped once. A family friend went quiet too quickly. Then a message got forwarded to me by mistake. Just a fragment. But enough. She had been rewriting me behind the scenes, turning me into a burden, a parasite, a threat. Someone unstable. Someone opportunistic. Someone who needed to be cut out before I took advantage. And my brother believed it. Or maybe worse, he needed to. That kind of pain can make you reckless. I chose something else. I disappeared. Not dramatically. Not publicly. I just stopped showing up where I wasn't wanted and started building where no one was looking. I went back to school. Learned business. Learned contracts. Learned how money moves in silence. How ownership can hide behind companies. How family trusts are written. How signatures made in desperation can echo for years. I became patient. Obsessively patient. While they were busy performing success, I was building leverage. That was the difference. Their life got louder. Bigger house. New cars. Flashier vacations. Louder opinions. Everything looked expensive. Everything looked perfect. But I know debt when I see it. And she loved appearances too much not to overreach. He loved keeping her impressed too much not to let her. That was the crack. I waited. Not because I had to. Because timing matters more than force. The oceanfront property came last. Not as a reward. As a stage. I bought the land through a holding company. Kept my name buried. Renovated quietly. No social media, no bragging, no family gossip coming from me. The house wasn't a celebration. It was bait. And just like I knew they would, they found it. Word travels fast in families that claim they don't talk. Yesterday, they showed up in a rental truck packed with boxes. Like conquerors. Like inheritance had finally arrived. She stepped out first, looked at the house, then at me, and didn't even bother with hello. We're moving in, she said. Not asking. Announcing. Like the decision had already been made. My brother stood beside her nodding, but he still wouldn't look me in the eye. That told me everything. So I smiled.
Small.
Controlled. Practiced. Then I entered the code and locked the gate. The sound changed the whole mood. First confusion. Then offense. Then panic trying to hide inside anger. That's when I spoke. You can't be here, I said. Legally. She laughed. Too loudly. The kind of laugh people use when reality hasn't reached them yet. My brother frowned. He knew. Or, at least some part of him knew. I slid a folder through the bars of the gate. Copies only. Property records. Trust documents. Loan transfers. Enforcement clauses. Every page clean. Official. Final. Years ago, when he was drowning and I was still family, he signed paperwork I helped him with. He didn't read it carefully. She definitely didn't. That was expensive. The debt tied to their house? Controlled. The review freezing their access?
Triggered.
The legal authority over the property they assumed was theirs?
Mine.
Not through luck. Through patience. As my brother turned the pages, I watched his face shift. Not rage. Not yet. Recognition. That's when it hit him. This wasn't revenge in the emotional sense. This was structural. Built slowly. Deliberately. Without a single wasted move. His wife started shouting almost immediately. Accusations. Insults.
Threats.
Then the old word came back. Trash. Some people really do only have one script. I stepped closer to the gate, just enough for my brother to hear me over her. You chose her, I said quietly. I chose time. And that was it. No dramatic speech. No final argument. No need. The gate stayed closed. Security arrived a minute later, professional, calm, uninterested in the family history. The ocean behind me kept moving like none of this mattered. And maybe that was the best part, because to the world it didn't. Only to them. I watched them leave without chasing the moment, without savoring it too loudly, because real revenge doesn't scramble. It lands. That night, I sat alone on the balcony with no music, no celebration, no champagne. Just the sound of waves and a feeling I didn't expect. Relief. Not victory. Relief. I didn't win because I got louder than them. I won because I got sharper. Betrayal teaches you where the weak points are. Silence teaches you when to strike. They thought I was gone. What they never understood was that I was building.